Good morning from the United States of America. We are here in Atlanta, Georgia, and to be honest, I don't know much about this city. I know that it has got the busiest airport in the world and that Coca-Cola is from here, and also that Atlanta has a very important part in civil rights history. But that's about it. Today I'm gonna go explore this city and see what else it's got to offer. So come and join me as we try to answer one main question. Is Atlanta, Georgia worth visiting? Let's go. It's now 8:30 a.m. and we are in an area called Old 4th Ward, which is a historic neighborhood a few miles from downtown, and it's famous for all of these houses here, which look really nice. And on the other side you can see these wooden buildings from the 1950s. And this is also the area where I'm staying because it's a bit more walkable than some other parts of Atlanta, because as you might know, Atlanta is very spread out like most American cities. But now we are just walking around here, and there's apparently a very nice bridge where you can have views of the skyline of downtown Atlanta. So let's go check out that bridge first before heading into another area where there is a lot of civil rights history. So come and join me. Now we are coming up to the bridge. I hope that you can hear something because it's obviously very loud here. But this is the Jackson Street Bridge, and let's have a look. This is the skyline of downtown Atlanta. It's the other side. Yeah, I think that a lot of pictures that you see of Atlanta, of the skyline, are taken here. So that's what I'm gonna do as well. But yeah, pretty cool view. And here you can see this area right here behind the trees. That's the Old 4th Ward. And then over there is downtown. That might not look very far, but if you want to walk that, it's about 30 to 40 minutes. Well, as I said before, Atlanta is very spread out. You can't really get anywhere unless you have a car, or you know, there's some public transportation. I'm not sure how much I'm going to use that. Now this area of Atlanta, Auburn Avenue, has a very important place in American history, and especially during the civil rights movement. So in front of me you can see the Martin Luther King Visitor Center, which we're going to see in a minute. But then here we have the church where Martin Luther King used to preach. And on the other side of the street there's actually the Memorial Walk, which we're gonna go check out in a minute as well. But yeah, Martin Luther King was born here in Atlanta in 1929, and he was obviously one of the most important figures in the civil rights movement, and unfortunately he was killed. But yeah, to this day Martin Luther King is a symbol of, you know, non-violent protests against racism. And as we all know, this struggle for African Americans, but for other minorities as well, continues to this day. So yeah, this part of Atlanta is where it all happened and where it is remembered today. So let's go check it out. We have arrived at the tomb of the man himself, Martin Luther King. Let's go check it out. So here we are. This is the tomb of Martin Luther King Jr. and his wife, Coretta Scott King. And there's a loudspeaker telling me that I shouldn't go into the pool. Yes, I wasn't planning on. Well, so this is the Memorial Walk. This is where they have all the symbols. There's the flame that always burns, and there's a loudspeaker with Martin Luther King's voice. Can you hear him?
While it should not matter, I would like to mention that I'm a white girl. I read in the paper
Yeah, I'm on YouTube. Yeah. Do you want to say something to YouTube?
Hi guys.
What's your name?
Tristan.
Tristan. That's a nice name. Are you from Atlanta? No? Where are you from?
North Carolina.
North Carolina. Yeah, high five. Have a nice day.
You guys aren't from here. Well, lunch around here. We like tacos, El Pasteros, and egg. Yeah, it's awesome. Low-key patio tacos.
So there you can see the birthhouse of Martin Luther King Jr. again, and I actually just went in there. I did the tour, but you can't film or take pictures inside, so I can only show you the outside of the house. But the tour was definitely worth it. They explain everything about the life of Martin Luther King and especially his childhood, because he was growing up in this area here, and this area here wasn't actually part of Atlanta back then. So the house was built in the late 19th century, and obviously Martin Luther King lived there in the 1920s, and this entire neighborhood here was actually a suburb back then. It wasn't Atlanta proper, but this suburb was already back then very diverse. So as a kid, Martin Luther King was playing with kids from very different backgrounds, and obviously white kids, black kids, and that's kind of what formed his mentality towards this whole racial relationship. So for him it was completely normal to play with kids from different backgrounds, which wasn't the case for most kids in the 1920s. And yeah, as you can see today, this neighborhood is still full of these old wooden houses, and many of them are actually protected. So if you are here in Atlanta, definitely come check out this place because it's worth it. So now I think I'm gonna go chill a little bit because it's getting super hot. It's like 95 Fahrenheit. No idea how much that is, but it's hot. And yeah, after that, maybe I'll head downtown. So see you in a bit. Now that was just a group of Segway travelers here in Old Fort Worth, Atlanta. And we are now back on Jackson Street Bridge, which is where you have the view of the skyline. And this isn't the best place to talk in front of the camera because of the noise, so I'll find a quieter spot, and then I'm gonna tell you a little bit about some things that are weird in the US, because I haven't been here in 5 years. So the last time I was here was in 2017, and it was a Florida trip. This time it's gonna be a much bigger US trip. But yeah, I just wanted to tell you a few things that if you are coming here to the US, as a European especially, that you might find weird. So let's go. So yeah, I found a quieter street, and I wanted to talk a bit about the things that will shock you when you come here as a European or as a foreigner in general, and just, you know, things that are a bit weird and different in the United States. And the first one is just how unwalkable the cities are. We are here in Atlanta, and obviously Atlanta is a big city, but basically you can't walk anywhere. And now you can see here, this is a very nice street. It's clean, nice houses, and there's nobody walking here. It's completely empty. And to be honest, today I did my fair share of walking, and I only saw 2 or 3 other people walking the whole day. There's like nobody walking because I guess it's just not in the culture. And it's also very hot. That's another factor. But yeah, people take their cars. When you see people walking, actually, they mostly have workout clothes on because they are actually running or, you know, doing a workout. So yeah, that's the first big shock of America, is that when you come here, you really need a car or you just take Ubers. And if you walk, I mean, you can walk, but you don't get anywhere. That's my case. And I have been in the same neighborhood for a few hours now, and now I want to go downtown, and I'm just gonna take an Uber because you can't walk anywhere. That's just how it is. Another thing which might shock you if you come here, especially as a European, and I think that that's actually a positive, is just that people do a lot more small talk. And you know, they talk to you, they're not as cold as us Europeans, that's for sure. Especially here in the south, you know, you go to a bar or a museum or wherever in the streets, people just talk to you because they are curious, and they're very nice. I have to say, people here in Atlanta have been amazing so far, very friendly, and yeah, that's another thing that as a European might shock you. Now, before we continue our little exploration of Atlanta, I'll show you the place that I'm staying at. And it's this house here. It's actually a shared house, which I found on Airbnb. And yeah, these are the common areas. Got a little living room. And now I'll show you the kitchen. Yeah, it's a fully equipped kitchen. It's got everything you need. But you know, I'm only gonna stay here for a couple of nights, so I'm probably not gonna be using this kitchen. And it's also got a real typical American fridge, really big, with an ice machine here. And yeah, this is the kind of fridge that people have here. And if you are American, you might think, what is he talking about? This is just a fridge. But I can tell you one thing, for us Europeans, a fridge this big with an ice machine is basically the American dream. So now I'll show you the room. Let's go. Oh, first I'll show you the bathroom, which is right here. Oh yeah, it's got a nice little shower bathtub. That's the bathroom here. And yeah, this is all shared. These are the shared spaces of the house. And now I'll show you my room. Here it is. Yeah, it's a very nice room. It's got a big double bed, huge TV, and a window with a view of the backyard. And yeah, this is my private room here in Atlanta. How much was it? I think it was around $110 per night. Now I should say that Atlanta isn't cheap. Now I was looking for hotels here in Atlanta, and the cheapest hotels you can get is like $150 a night, and for that you really don't get any luxury. So you can obviously take a motel somewhere far outside of the city's main core, but I didn't want to do that either. So then the choice that you have is Airbnb. And I have to say, for $100 and something a night, this is the best you can get. So yeah, if you are coming to Atlanta, definitely budget for accommodation, because that's gonna cost you. Now I've got myself a Diet Coke here, because of course this is Coca-Cola land. This is the place where Coca-Cola is from, and we are actually now heading to the main attraction in relation to Coca-Cola. So let's go. We are here at World of Coca-Cola, and yeah, this is downtown Atlanta, and the traffic here is pretty intense. That's why the Uber driver dropped me 1 or 2 blocks in front of the Coca-Cola World, because yeah, the traffic here isn't moving and the horns are going off. Dominican Republic. Let's try it. Pineapple. That one is good. It's not crowded at all here in this tasting center. But yeah, they have a lot of different things here, different types of Coke and other drinks that belong to the Coca-Cola company. But yeah, don't come here on a Saturday in June. yeah, that was the world of Coca-Cola, and it's definitely worth a visit, but don't come here on a Saturday afternoon in June because it is super crowded. But still, I mean, it's definitely worth a stop. You can try different Cokes, and you know, I like Coke, even though I mostly drink Diet Coke and Coke Zero. The variety that they have in there is pretty insane. I mean, you won't find that much Coke in any supermarket. And here we have this huge plaza with the Civil Rights Museum, which is right here, and the Georgia Aquarium. And these are two other big attractions here in Atlanta. And over there you can see again the skyline of downtown. And yeah, this is definitely the main tourist center of the city. And yeah, it's very nice. So far my impressions of Atlanta have been good. So let's continue. Just look at how American this all looks. Tall buildings, skyscrapers, V8 muscle cars. I mean, it doesn't get much more American than this. But yeah, I was talking a bit about the shocks of coming to the US, especially as a European. And one of the biggest shocks is the lack of public transportation. I mean, Atlanta has a MARTA, which is a metro system, but it only has 2 lines, I think, and they don't go to basically the places where I want to go. So now I'm trying to use this public transport system, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna succeed to get to where I want to go without taking another Uber. And that's just a really big problem here. It's like, if you don't have a car, you know, too bad, because you can't get to where you want to go. Now we are at a place called Ponce City Market, and I've heard a lot of good things about this place. There are lots of restaurants, shops and bars. So let's go see what it's got to offer. Hi.
How's it going?
How's it going? Cold beer. That's
Yeah.
just what I'm looking for.
Oh, yeah.
Which ones do you have?
0 options right here.
Right. Are they all from Atlanta?
They're not. So we're an Indian restaurant.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. So
you have.
so these 3 are all imports from India. These 4 are our local beers here. These are our seltzers, and we also have some wine options.
Okay. So this one is pale ale. This one is sour ale.
And this is
They're all IPA. The ones
so
from.
these are both IPAs. This is like just a lager. And This
Okay.
is a sour.
Okay, I'll have one of those, please.
Perfect.
So that was Ponce City Market, and it actually also has a rooftop terrace, but I didn't have time to check that one out because it has lots of games and different attractions, and it actually costs $15 to go up there, so I didn't really have time for that. But the market itself is really cool. I mean, you got so much food there, so many different stores, and yeah, it's definitely a place to check out. So as I explained to you guys before, Atlanta is not a walkable city at all, and yet I did about 8 kilometers today. I'm not sure how much that is in miles, but I'll put it into the video. And yeah, my initial question was, is Atlanta, Georgia worth visiting? And I have to say, the answer has to be a resounding yes, because there's so much to do here. There are so many cool places. I only really have a day here, and now I'm kind of regretting that I didn't spend more time here, because there are some more places that I would love to see, but you know, I don't really have time. So yeah, if you are coming here, or if you have a flight to Atlanta, because Atlanta is the busiest airport in the world, it's definitely worth coming here for a few days and just checking out the place, because there's a lot of stuff to do. And yeah, so I guess I'll end the video here. Thanks very much for watching, and see you next time. Goodbye.